I wanted to actually call on one of our members here just to start it out and make this a bit more interactive. I don't know if Tom is here from Davidson Capital by chance, but Vanessa, if you could unmute Tom if he is here. I would just like you, Tom, just to share. I know you've raised over $100 million yourself. At CapitalCon, we're going to have 20 speakers sharing a 10-minute talk on how they've done so. But in your case, if you could just help us start out the workshop with maybe one or two things that are counterintuitive or what's been critical to you raising over $100 million, I think that'd be pretty interesting for everybody to hear. And when I was looking at who was attending today, I saw that you were going to be here on the workshop. So Tom, if you want to go ahead and just share one or two insights or just give kind of a one-liner in what you do to start with, give some context to it, that'd be great.
Thank you. Richard, first of all, I have admired what you've been doing. It's certainly needed in the marketplace, and you've been, it was imaginative and creative of you to do what you're doing. So keep it up. It's spectacular.
Thank you.
And I love your little girls. That's they're spectacular too. So congratulations on that.
Thanks.
I started just a brief background. From a military family. My dad was a superhero, Patton's engineer in World War II, saved our bacon in Korea. I decided I would never follow him in the military. I went to Williams College, Duke Law School, New York, Cravath, Swaine and Moore as a lawyer, T. Boone Pickens in Texas to learn something about the energy business for a couple of years, Tulsa, Oklahoma, with a company called MAPCO, Mid-America Pipeline Company, Washington, D.C., with Bob Strauss's law firm to learn a little bit about Washington. I'm not sure that was, it was a great experience.
Sure.
But the most fun was about 20 years ago, luckily, it's always better to be lucky than good, decided to really focus on capital raising instead of a lot of other things in Washington, D.C. And found a company that, or a gentleman that wanted to do a roll-up in the office supply business in Washington, D.C. A guy had just done one and made himself a couple of $100 million. And he asked me to do one for him. I said, I don't do it. I don't know how to do it. Never did it. But found Bruce Rauner in Chicago at GTCR the next day. We were looking for 15 million. He gave us 100, and that was turned into $1.2 billion. So it proved always better to be lucky than good. Since then, we built DCG to about 25 or 30 people. It's since slimmed down. I now live in Florida, in the Panhandle of Florida. If any of you guys haven't been to the Panhandle, you're missing the best part of the world. Literally.
What's your number one insight from that? I mean, part of it is being the right time, right place, but how were you able to close that $100 million ticket? Was it the excellence of the team, or was it the IP, or?
I think it was more the opportunity, partly IP. They did have technology. They had relationships with some of the large players in space, so that they were able to have strategic relationships to send signals even at that early stage.
Right.
And I think also not overcomplicating. I guess what I've learned, and I've learned this from you too, Richard, and listening to some of your talks, is trying not to overcomplicate everything. Sort of use the KISS principle, keep it simple, stupid. A page or two of the essence of it, followed by maybe half a dozen pages to spell it out more, but not big, thick books.
Right.
I think that's kind of been, I've gotten slimmer and smaller as far as the materials. I guess that's,
yeah.
If they don't like it, they're not going to like it if it's big, as opposed to if it's small. So I think that would be my key takeaway.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think there's a lot of takeaways you just said there. So I definitely appreciate you sharing that. So concise is very important. The more sophisticated the investor you go to, or the deeper pockets they have, the busier they are as a human being. So they have less time to make an initial assessment. They don't have time to look at a 44-page pitch deck. They want a teaser. If the teaser is great, maybe they'll have a quick call with you, and then they might look at a 12 to 15-page pitch deck. but typically even your own business partner or spouse might not read every word of your 22-page pitch deck. Everybody is very busy, even if they're on your team. You know, you have to make sure people are looking at the details with you and for you. And the more concise you can be, the better. We're going to bring that up, Tom, and a couple of the exercises today come directly back to what you just said. So it also came up
I also heard
yesterday.
you say, and then I'll stop this, but I think I heard you actually say the elevator pitch. If you can't get it done in 14 floors up to the first floor, you're not going to get it done. So very short, concise, punchy, and shut up, I think.
Right. Yeah, you basically have 15 seconds to get 2 to 3 compelling high conviction points across to the investor. If you don't, you're dead in the water. It doesn't matter how many calls you make, how many emails you send, how many meetings you try to get. You have to have it dialed into a 15-second, one line, one sentence. Almost no one does that, and it costs nothing. We have people that pay us $8,000 a month for a retainer in our pitchdex.com investor relations marketing agency. They're willing to pay that, but they haven't bothered to put together a single sentence on their company. You know, it doesn't cost anything at all. There's no reason not to have that. So every single person here should have that. And we'll get to that in a workshop exercise here. So thank you, Tom. Appreciate you sharing.